Hey, my crafty mavens. Thank you for coming to the channel today. This is Hannah with you, and I am really sorry that this video is up quite late and we had some technical difficulties. So if you watched this earlier, you noticed that there was no sound to the first half. And like I said, this is up late because I had some other technical difficulties. Apparently, it's just the day for this video, right? So you're watching me scrap lift that layout that you've seen at the beginning. And I started off with those other two, and I was thinking about using those because there was some like gold foiling as part of like the media behind. And I really wanted to add some of that, but both of those layouts seemed really heavy. So you don't see me creating any of it. I did tape what I originally did, and I didn't care for it. Like I said, it was too dark. So that first one was the one with the stencil, and I did gold embossing powder on top of the modeling paste. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right. So it was too much, too heavy. And so now I'm picking out some layers. So I'm going to apologize right now if I say some of the same stuff that I said before, because like I said, I'm just redoing the voiceover for the first half, since second half is already in there. You can watch. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to use the 6x6 papers or if I wanted to pull out the full 12x12s, and I decided to just what the heck with it, right? What the hey, I'm just gonna go with the 12x12, and I'm gonna just cut them. And I am using a lot of the Chasing Dreams collection. I really like this collection. It's super fun, and I thought that the pinks would work really well with using the pinks from that mood board that I'm using from last week, which I actually did this last week, but it's just now getting up. And I also have some crepe paper. This is from the Oasis collection. I really wanted to add some greens because even though the pictures are black and white, there was color, you know, when I took it, obviously there was color. So, and there was a lot of greens because it's outside at the zoo, and I really just wanted this to be layered. I wanted it to look a little bit different than the original because it is my own version of what that original layout is. And when you're scrap lifting, that is the great thing. So this layout that I'm scrap lifting is from a lady who posted this over at the Studio Calico gallery. So in the info box below, you'll be able to find links to where you can find those or find the original. And I also have the blog post that she wrote. So her blog is still up and current, and so you can see that. And there was quite a bit of different things that I wanted to use from the original, but then there was some things that I wanted to do different. And like I said, I'm adding all this pattern paper, and I try to keep it simple by just using the bigger strips and then adding a little bit of the 6x6 pad in with it. And I did add some staples. I used the DIY staples that were the pink ones from the Tiny Attacher, and then I'm just going to add some small layers behind them, and the middle one is going to get a full piece, and then the other two are going to only have like a half of another layer. So I'm trying not to go too crazy, but I really want to bring out the colors that you might naturally see along with the pops of pink. So I really like how this turned out. It looks so much fun, right? So much. And I did this mostly because I wanted to have one of the photos just kind of stand out a little bit more than the other two. And I just really liked having just a little bit extra behind the photos. Like I said, the original didn't have anything. It just had the plain photos. But I just cannot help myself. And I have all this paper, so why not use it? Why not? Oh, why not? Apparently I can't talk today. So here I've done the layering, and I figured out how I want to put the rest. And surprisingly, I didn't put this down yet, but I had a feeling that I would want to do something. So I'm taking some of this gold Faber-Castell stuff, and it's kind of like a gold modeling paste. It's really, really nice and creamy and just really, really gold. It just is awesome. I really like it. And so I just use one of those little roller thingies, and it just kind of gives a little bit of texture. And I like how some places it's not, there's hardly any, and then some places it's really heavy and goopy. And so it adds something, but not so much that it's like really crazy. And I really feel like this kind of keeps in the feel of how the original layout was. And that's one of the things that I like to do, is just kind of take bits and pieces from the original, but really just make it my own and make it work for me. And I think that's one of the amazing things with scraplifting is that you can do that, and then you create a whole different type of layout. I mean, this really doesn't look that much like the original. And this other lady, she is so amazing. I was looking over at her website, so I'll make sure I have her links below, where I found it on Pinterest and then her actual site. And it was just like, it's just really fun. So I really wanted to have a play on this title. And I remembered that I still have some of these alphas from the C'est La Vie collection. And I knew immediately that it would be perfect because it has a lot of the white, but it still has gold. And so it's going to tie in with the gold that I put on the background already. And then it's also going to make it seem a little bit more crisper. Now, originally, I had thought about adding that Maggie Holmes from, I think that's from the Gather collection, the sticker sheet. On the original, there's like an arrow thingy from the collection that she used, and I think she was using the Journey collection from Crepe Paper from a couple of years ago. So, and I wanted to add a down element, right? But in the end, I'm not going to keep it because it just really bugged me that it was very cream against a lot of bright colors and a lot of white. So I didn't keep it. In the end, I decided that even though I thought it was kind of cute and it kind of worked because it had a florally aspect, which kind of ties in a little bit more of the original inspiration piece and stuff, but it just didn't work for me, and that's okay. And I think sometimes we got to remember that if something just doesn't feel right, it's okay to take it off. And I've done this quite a bit lately, of just taking things off. And even if it doesn't seem like it's going to come off, you can still try to take it off. What's the worst thing that could happen? I have to redo the background, then I can just lift up the papers and I can use that. I mean, like, I could still use them. So I end up finding just this tail from like one of the ribbon pieces from the ephemera, from the Chasing Dreams collection. And I was like, hey, that could kind of work. It would go down, and then I added the chipboard piece, so it adds another element of gold, and I really like this. So the title of this is going to be #Courage to Fly. Eventually, I'm going to find some little thicker or little alpha stickers to just add to it. And I did put a sticker that says "at the pool" from Crepe Paper. I thought about adding a little bit more of Crepe Paper stuff, and I did add a few things over to the side of the photo just for some extra layering pieces. But I didn't want to add too much because that also, once again, has more cream, but it didn't bother me over on the side as it did up at the top. So go figure, right? The cream to white thing. Sometimes it bugs me and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, you just got to try it. So I knew I wanted to add a couple of pieces over on there, so I pull out some stuff from the Journey collection that I still had, and I had some arrows and some feathers, and I'm going to add the feathers because this is about birds. This is some pictures that I actually took with my DSLR, so the originals are in color, obviously, but I really I don't know, I was hoping that these black and whites just really show something different about the bird than you would see in real life. I mean, in real life, it was really gorgeous anyway, but this bird just kept standing there and like standing there and standing there, and you'd wait 10 minutes or so before he decided to actually just jump off. So this was a really big ledge. It's kind of hard to tell here, but it was a really big ledge. And then there's the pool, the water pool for the birds. So this is a puffin. And my kids love the penguins and the puffins and all these different water birds. And, but you just sat there and you watched them, and I watched and watched and watched. And I actually have a picture of him jumping off. And let me tell you, that was an experience, because I was just sitting there and I had to have my camera on really slow, the shutter speed open for a long time so that I could get him. And most of them turned out blurry, but I got one where he was mostly not blurry. But I decided not to put that one on here. I think I'm going to make another layout with that picture just really big and just kind of show, it just was really cool. Nature is just really cool, and it's one of the inspirations that I like to use in my layouts. But I just thought it was kind of cool how, like, even a bird who was meant to fly still took all this time. Like I said, he just walked around and walked around. He went up to the ledge and he looked at it and he was like contemplating, and then finally he got the courage to just jump off and dive down. I mean, he just jumped off and dived down into the water, and it was really super cool. And of course, my kids loved it, and everybody else loved it. So here is my layout. I hope you guys keep watching the Crafty Maven, and I thank you guys for all your support. Don't forget to come back next week, because we are going to be celebrating 2 full years of the Crafty Maven Getaway. So I am super excited, and I hope that you join us next week as well. I'll see you guys later. Bye!